Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Audio bandwidth for the Daily GizWiz is provided by Winamp. Subscribe to the Daily GizWiz and all your favorite podcasts with the ultimate media player. Download it for free at winamp.com. Video bandwidth for the Daily GizWiz is provided by CashFly at CACHEFLY.com. It's time for the Daily GizWiz with Mad's maddest writer, Dick DeBartolo. This is episode 1210 for Friday, October 29th, 2010. The Olivetti Praxis Typewriter. The Daily GizWiz is brought to you by MailRoute. MailRoute is a secure hosted service providing enterprise-grade virus and spam filtering to companies of any size. For 10% off the life of your account, visit mailroute.info today.
And now, get ready for Dick.
Many, many years ago, when he was just a lad, a warehouse in Manhattan started slowly going bad. It piled up with bric-a-brac and bundles of debris, a legacy of plastic junk arranged from A to Z. The master of this circus show, while twirling his mustache, creeps furtively, appraising his phantasmagoric stash. Someday the walls will buckle from the vastness of his hoard, and New York will be drowned in loathsome gizmos as they pour from Dick's Gadget Warehouse.
They're geeky and they're goofy, together they are loopy. When gadgets pass away, he takes them out to play in Dick's Gadget Warehouse.
And now here he is, dressed in his Halloween finest, Dick DeBartolo.
Yeah, how you doing?
Happy Halloween, Dick!
The same to you. You have a cul-de-sac kind of party out there?
You know, we could. We did it on the 4th of July. But, you know, Petaluma is famous for the Halloween promenade. I suppose other towns must have this.
This is like the Ghost and Chicken Parade but for Halloween?
Yeah, the Ghost and Chicken. No, but there's one street in town where all the fancy houses are. And it's become a great, you know, I don't, maybe other towns don't do this. I'm curious, maybe our chat room or somebody who's listening knows, but I think this, I would guess this happens in other towns where just everybody from all the area, thousands of people gather to go down this street, and the street over time has become famous, and it's taken it more and more seriously. So every house has a massive Halloween display, and they do a lot of crazy stuff, and it's jammed. I mean, you cannot walk down this street but without being rubbing elbows with ghosts and ghoulies. It's very fun. So that's kind of what everybody does. It's D Street is the name of the street. We all go to D Street. And that's kind of what everybody does. So we don't, even our little cul-de-sac, which isn't too far off the main drag, we very rarely get trick-or-treaters because everybody's down there.
So someone told me they have just went past a funeral walk or a graveyard tour.
Yeah, well, of course,
I didn't do anything special.
This started. I'm getting chills.
Oh my word!
This started with the Day of the Dead in Mexico, where they would have a parade to celebrate the ancestors that had died. And, of course, the Castro in San Francisco, Greenwich Village in New York, famous for their parties.
Yes.
But it sounds like you're having a party in there.
And the funny thing is, I don't have my chime anymore.
Well, I don't know what that
coming
is.
from under the desk. But I do have a gadget. It dates back to 1983.
And let me, just before you say that, let me thank Scott P. from Westport, Connecticut for our poem today. Scott Petrovitz wrote that poem. He also wrote the dirty limerick that I used a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
He's
okay.
good.
Oh, it's so funny because when you couldn't find one, I was going to say, boy, if he made that up at the moment, he's really better than I ever dreamed. Okay.
Yes, I did. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say imply that somebody else wrote that? My mistake.
Based on an idea by Scott,
Yes.
but fleshed out by Leo.
Yes, I added. I think I changed one word, but it was an important word.
Exactly.
So what do you got?
The Olivetti. This is one of my favorite gadgets of the past. The Olivetti Praxis Electric Typewriter, the first typewriter with a parallel port.
Oh,
now,
please.
Leo, do you remember these?
Yes, I do.
It was a guy named Gary Oppenheimer, and I emailed Gary, and I said, Gary, do you remember that? And he said, oh, my word. He said, I remembered that. It came with three daisy wheel print wheels that you had to be so careful when you put them in that you didn't break a letter off because the letters were like on a spider web. It was a regular electronic typewriter, but a couple of neat features. One is it had 5 memory keys that you could set up. And you know what key 1 was set up for? Key 1 would type, dumb Dora was so dumb that.
Oh, that's funny. You used this.
Yes. Key 2 was dumb Donald was so dumb that. And it had 3 margin setting memories. So when I would type match game, we would type them on those 3x5 inch index cards.
And you needed to type them with big characters because Gene Rayburn isn't going to read the little tiny
Yes,
print.
exactly. Yes. I mean, the first couple of years he would read my cards the way they were. Then they got a Selectric. Then they got a Selectric with a special made ball.
Right, the big ball.
That only had capital letters, no symbols or anything.
Well,
so
we had one of those too, yeah. I remember.
Oh, yeah. So the Praxis was $795. And you could plug a parallel cable in the back. And I was using, I think, my Atari 800 at the time. You could print out from the Atari 800 using the...
So wait a minute, I don't understand. So if you had a computer, what did you need the typewriter for?
Well, the thing is, I didn't know how to type match game questions on the computer. First of all, I bought the typewriter before I had a computer.
Right.
And I was talking to Gary because Gary was selling electronic stuff. And he said, listen, you should pay another $100 or $150 for this port in the back because one day soon you're going to get a computer. And because he knew I was buying everything.
So, I get it. It turned this into a printer. It was a computer printer.
Exactly. Yes. I used it as a typewriter until I got my computer. And then it wasn't, because back then printers were also $500 and $600. So I got this deluxe electronic typewriter. It did auto correcting and all that good stuff. But then when I went into computing, it wasn't a piece of junk. I used it for a year or two until I moved up to an Oki Data. Got special enough to have an Oki Data. And I looked up Olivetti, and Olivetti's still building a lot of stuff.
Olivetti.
Like
Olive with Eddie. So it's like Eddie sells olives.
Olivetti, I like
Olivetti.
You solved it. No, and Gary.
They make typewriters still?
No, I think they're more in the foreign market, but they're building some computers.
Yeah, they make computers. I remember they're an Italian company. They're very stylish, and these were kind of transitional products between the world of typewriters and the world of computers.
You know what? Mine came with a side of pepperoni, so that clears it up that they came from it.
But no, they were always gorgeous. They were in color.
Beautiful stuff.
Great design.
Beautiful stuff. And the funny thing is, Gary sent me an email. He said, Dick, somewhere in my basement, I have the invoice for that Olivetti typewriter, which scares me because Gary lives on a boat. So I don't know what his basement
Why do I think
is.
I know Gary Peterson?
No, Gary Oppenheimer.
Oh, I don't know Gary Oppenheimer.
No, you don't know Gary Oppenheimer.
I know Gary Peterson.
Right. But you know what? Gary, in his signature, and I'm just going to mention this, Gary at ampleharvest.org. Gary, about 3 years ago, I said, hey, Gary, what's new? And he said, you know what? I'm thinking of semi-retiring, but I want to do something for society.
Oh.
And he said, he said, people grow vegetables all the time, and they don't have enough friends to give all the vegetables to.
We had that problem this year.
Oh, okay. Well, Gary started something called ampleharvest.org, and he got a CNN Heroes citation because this has taken off. So if you ever have too many vegetables and you want to share them with the homeless or the less fortunate, check out. You can find out how to do it at ampleharvest.org.
You know, I had a surplus of magic cauliflower in my farm. I wonder if they'd take that.
You know, just the magic shelter might take those.
Yeah, the shelter for magic wizards, the homeless wizard shelter. Yes, they might like the magic cauliflower.
Magic cauliflower.
Hey, Dick, before we get the letter of the week, I'd like to mention once again, my friends, we started the week talking about mailroute.info. I want to remind you, if you haven't signed up yet, that we will save you 10% for the life of your account. Now, most people nowadays, most individuals have anti-spam solutions. You know, they use Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo Mail, which do a great job of killing spam. But if you run your own server, you need to solve this issue. You don't have the spam filtering. You could buy a big, expensive box, or you could put software on it, but MailRoute is such a perfect solution, and I know because I've been using it for 6 years at leoville.com. All I had to do was change my MX record to point to MailRoute. So when inbound mail came at my server, before it even hit my server, it would be bounced over, reflected over to MailRoute, where they process it, and then send it back to my server where it comes to my inbox. And let me tell you, MailRoute over the last 12 months has stopped 970,000 spam messages that never hit my server at all. 30,000 good messages. 97% of my mail is spam. And because I've been using leoville.com for so long, this is a lifesaver. It not only saves you from getting the spam, I think it saves you money because it's a very affordable service. You don't have to worry about the bandwidth used by those million spams a year. You don't have to worry about the time it takes to go through them. Now, they do have a spam store you can look, but I stopped looking at my spam store years ago because MailRoute never had any false positives. It was always 100% reliable. It's a really great enterprise-grade solution that individuals and small businesses can use to stop spam cold. Lots of other features. Of course, they filter out the viruses that tend to come in email. They've got 99.99% uptime, which means even if your servers go down, your mail will not get bounced. MailRoute will take it, hold it, and spool it out to you when you're back up online. They're just a great service, and I think you ought to give it a try. I especially want to talk to the small businesses, the businesses from 200 to 250,000 users who are just saying, what do? We don't, for varieties of reasons, they don't want to use, say, for instance, Gmail for privacy reasons. We need to do our own mail servers. This guy knows all about it. He might remember a program software he called FrontBridge that he sold to Microsoft in 2005. Microsoft renamed it to Microsoft Exchange Hosted Services. This guy knows email. He's one of the smartest guys in the business, and he has a great solution for getting rid of spam. So much so that people have actually started contacting him and saying, what about individuals? And I think they have started offering individual accounts. Check it out. Go to mailroute.info. All the information you need is there. And when you decide to subscribe, it'll take you a few seconds. You're set up. You're done. And for the rest of your life of your account, you'll save 10% because you used mailroute.info. That's a special address for TWiT listeners. I've been using it, as I said, for 6 years. It's done a great job for me, and that's one of the reasons I decided we should start talking about it on TWiT. Pricing starts at $2 per user per month with a 10-user minimum, but the cost goes down as your head count goes up, and there is outbound mail service as well. And as I mentioned, individual service is something he's doing just for TWiT listeners because you guys asked for it. Mailroute.info. Give it a try. I think you will like it. I think it's a spooky night, so we should play a spooky something's happened to Dick. Oh, Dick DeBartolo, you're looking so scary. You look like the Lion King. That's good with your mustache. That is a perfect mask for you.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the letter comes from Keith. Hi, Dick and Leo. I saw a recent GizWiz. Oh, it was a Gadget Warehouse Friday where you talked about floppy drives.
Oh, yeah.
And how they might all soon be in the Gadget Warehouse. Well, there's actually a use for floppy drives I found out about recently after I toasted the BIOS on my laptop trying to do an update.
Oh, yeah.
Modern laptop BIOSes. BIOSes, is that a word?
BIOSes,
They have
sure.
a built-in safety feature where if you host the BIOS update like I did and the laptop won't even start to boot, you can hook up a floppy drive to the laptop, press a special key combination to get the laptop to boot and restore the BIOS from a specially formulated floppy drive. I guess he means floppy disk. All that said, I bought the floppy drive and some disks. And while the laptop would try to access the floppy drive, I never did get that process to work. That's too bad.
Oh.
And I had to send it to someone with a ROM programmer to fix it.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I know, this poor guy. Anyway, keep up the good work, and don't put the floppy drives in the warehouse yet.
Oh, no, I think you can.
Yeah, I think you can, too.
I don't think that was a very good argument for him.
Yeah. You know what? If you could reboot a laptop from a floppy, can't you do the same thing with a USB flash drive?
It depends on the BIOS, but the thing is, if you've hosed the BIOS, you can't reboot from anything, so...
Oh, okay.
You kind of out of luck. I guess you could boot from a floppy, but what operating system are you going to put on it? The only operating system that fits on a floppy is DOS.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not going to get you very far.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. You're right.
There is something called damn small Linux. It fits on a floppy, but
that's so funny.
It also doesn't get you very far. You know.
No, I used to think the floppy just got you into
the hard drive.
And then you use the program's hard drive to go into the problem solving software.
Maybe. Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, my friend, the week is over, and Halloween is this Sunday.
It's the last chance to play the What the Heck Is It?
Last chance. Go to GizWiz.Biz, and over on the left there, at GizWiz.Biz, you'll see a link to the What the Heck Is It contest.
Or just look for the big visual bar that Myra made up and click the What the Heck Is It link.
Click the big old button.
The big old button.
And you can play the game. Let me just see one last chance for us to look.
You're so good at this. You are so good at.
Here's the gizmo for the September-October 20 What the Heck Is It game. Oh, it's the hot dog holders we were talking about last month. Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot give you a yay or nay on that.
Nay. You guess what it is. Now, you don't have to guess right. In fact, you get a better shot.
Guess wrong is good because a lot of people guessed right.
Oh,
guess
really?
wrong.
Guess wrong.
Guess wrong.
There are 12 autographed Mad magazines for the correct answer, 24 for the best, funniest answers that aren't right. And go to GizWiz.Biz. By the end of Sunday, you'll be out of time, and we'll have a whole new contest starting on Monday. That's fun, Dick. I think that's really fun.
Oh, yeah, no, it is.
What is your plan for Halloween? Do you have a costume yet?
I'm going to hang out at the warehouse and scare people as they come in with my Lion King mask. That's a good idea, actually. Unfortunately, they close at 5 o'clock. So.
You should go on the subway and say, "Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I am not a threat. I am a normal person who has a terrible condition that makes me look like a lion. If you would like to help, please give me..."
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think you'll do all right.
I saw Lion King 200 times, and this is what happened to me.
Well, that's
Help
it.
me.
You got to ride the subway that's going towards Broadway. Maybe you might get some showgoers who will have some sympathy.
Exactly. No, I'll probably stop by someone's house for free booze and food.
Yeah, it sounds like I get free candy. That's what I do.
I forgot. Do you have a party?
No, I don't think this year. I think we might go down D Street. You know, the kids are too old. Henry doesn't do a costume anymore. Abby's in college. I don't know what she's going to do. So I suspect that we'll be, maybe
I think
sitting
they
by
do
the door.
that nude graveyard walk up there in Hudson.
Dick, have a great Halloween. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday.
I'll be here.
DAILY. It's the Daily GizWiz. It's the Daily GizWiz. It's the Daily GizWiz.
It makes its own gravy.
Yeah.